a crucial point in life. Trying to track down when the misery that I call my life happened to begin, well, it must have been exactly that, the beginning. Conception, that is. Are you confused about this statement? Maybe you ask, what could possibly go wrong with a conception? It is either or, isn't it? Implying that there are only two possible outcomes of the sexual intercourse. Either you are born subsequently, or you are not. Of course, with that premise, you're right. From a simplified physical point of view, you either have a body or you have not. That is the difference between living and not living. And furthermore, if you have no body, there is little you can do about it. Unlike if you have one, although it is faulty, at least you can do something. You have something to work with. Now, what went wrong back then when my person was conceived? To understand that, I will invite you on a little journey back in the previous millennium, back in the days when a girl was expected to follow the advice of her parents. When the parents would find a worthy husband for their daughter, and the young woman would obey her parents, and her husband, of course. He, on the other hand, would promise to make her happy for a lifetime, nothing less. My grandfather was the ruling tyrant of a family of 8 children. He was born in the sign of Leo and followed strict rules in life. As one of the main rules, he demanded the biblical yes or no from any and everybody at any time. But let your communication be yeah, nay, for whatever is more than these cometh from evil. My mother was very unlike him. She was a lively, delicate built, very intelligent and intuitive child, creative in most ways. She saw everything very much in the shades of the rainbow rather than the black and white of her father. She even had a tendency to prefer shades, which made things go her way. Tricky indeed. Of course, my grandfather could not stand it. His fist thundered in the heavy tabletop as he quivered and cried from anger, "You are lying!" As she grew up, he came to pursue this tendency of hers to a degree where my mother felt hated by him. As an otherwise good girl, she desperately needed and wanted to be loved, whilst he thought his method of upbringing was blessed by God, and that it would ultimately help her become an angel and an honor to his fatherhood. She more and more searched for and found ways to avoid his anger and get out of his way. In order to take control over her own life, that is, get out of her father's range of control, she had to get married, she thought. By someone outside of his circles, that is. But there was an obstacle. There was only one way for her to get her father's consent: pregnancy. If she one day would come home with the message, "I'm pregnant," she knew he would only have one way to respond. He would cry in agony, "Who is the father?" and then demand without hesitation, "You have to marry him." Although the concerns, discontent, indignation, and anger would rain down over the poor girl like a lesser Armageddon, this was her plan. And oh my, did it work. She worked at a soldier's home back then. One day her eyes fell upon a young innocent fellow who looked like an easy prey. It surely only took a few tempting words and deceptive glances, and he was caught by the beautiful and inspiring young lady. Shortly after, well, there it was, the fateful conception of mine happening to unfold.